Bond number 9 has to be the slickest luxury brand in the industry because their most talked about fragrances are clones. Hey forum, Manny back here with another video on the CascadeScents fragrance station, and this one's a fragrance review on Bleecker Street by Bond number 9. Still that spring to summer transition period, so it goes without saying that this is also prime Bleecker Street season. Also, I don't know which YouTuber or which news outlet reported that this is in fact discontinued, because as of this upload date, from what I know, it is not discontinued. Bond number 9 actually restocked on these bottles if you are interested. So if you're a big fan of this stuff, feel free to cop it at Bond number 9 in real life or online or whatever domain is convenient for you. But since you're here, you might as well stick around for my thoughts on Bleecker Street, so let's get right into the scent, shall we? Super fruity in the opening, and I know that blueberry is not listed as an actual note, but it definitely smells that way to me. It's very bright, it smells super lush with the violet leaf that's kind of reminiscent of fresh cut grass actually. Almost like a warm spring day on your backyard after you mowed your lawn or something like that. Also got a touch of herbs and spices in the mid, but nothing too crazy. But it gets mossier towards a dry down with the oak moss substitutes, somewhat characteristic of the OG style in male perfumery. Also, I know this might sound weird, but it has a weird gourmand quality about it too. I'm sometimes able to get that vanilla and the caramel out of the dry down, but it just feels out of place if anything. I know some people like this combination with the outdoorsy notes, but it's just not harmonious enough for me. Also, I have to say it, although not everyone mentions it, I feel like this stuff is kind of reminiscent of Aventus by Creed. Don't worry though guys, this was actually released first, and I'm not throwing shade at Creed for clones on this one. Just saying that the fruity transition into oak moss here is kind of reminiscent of the fruits in Aventus transitioning into the mid and base notes. That's all. That being said, overall this is still not the OG of that berry to oak moss style DNA. If anything, this is actually strangely similar to the discontinued Ralph Lauren Purple Label fragrance. Both of them have a really friendly berry-like opening, but it's easy for me to tell which one's Bleecker Street just because it's so much greener. No, I'm not just talking about the bottle, but of course that violet leaf, but they're also pretty similar in the dry down too. While Purple Label is more aromatic and more woody in other ways besides its oak moss, it's Bleecker Street that's primarily mossy for me when it dries down. But that doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they're nearly identical sillage wise. Not talking about smelling them like this or like this, talking about the wafts you get, you know, when you're walking around and you can smell Bleecker Street here and there, or just about any fragrance. Like, I hope none of y'all are reviewing fragrances or buying fragrances to scrutinize them on a skin scent level. I think that's just silly. But in closing about the scent, if you're a big fan of that berry-like opening with that mossy dry down, I honestly don't think you can go wrong with either of these fragrances, unless you prefer some of those deliberately grassy nuances. If that's the case, Bleecker Street is your friend. Moving on to the versatility category now. The scent is very evocative of the outdoors, especially during the spring and summer. Comes off as super playful though, so I definitely say it's a daytime casual type scent. If I kind of want to channel this vibe for formal reasons or at night, I'll definitely reach for something that's a little sexier, so this. But for the limited versatility that I have of this in my head, I definitely still appreciate it. I can't emphasize enough how fun and uplifting this scent is. So if you also like going on walks or exploring or just chilling outside whatsoever, you might appreciate this too. Now moving on to the performance category now. Again, I'm doing the performance for the scenarios that I like using this for, so again, spring and summer outdoors during the daytime. And here in moderate to hot temperatures, it projects for beyond an arm's length for about 4 to 5 hours. Like, I still get wafts of it 5 hours into my wear, which I really appreciate. After that, it gets to around skin scent territory for maybe another 4 or 5 hours, so I'd say 9 to 10 hours of this longevity overall. It's also quite consistent, so I really can't hate on that, and yeah, just performance in general is very good, so not much more else to say here. On to the second last category now, which is feedback. I get maybe the occasional "you smell nice" with this fragrance, but nothing too crazy. Usually I take compliments in which people actually ask me what this is as like the coolest compliments ever. Sadly, I got none of that here, but I still do occasionally get those turnaround looks and stuff like that. Again, kind of hard not to get that when this stuff performs that well. It's just not the most flattering juice in my personal experience. That's all. And already now we're moving on to the last category, and that is value. Honestly guys, in my mind, this is where Bleecker Street completely fails. Now, I did mention synthetic in my scent breakdown, but that's kind of Bond number 9's overall style. But the ingredient quality that you get here, which I'd say is mid-tier at best, is definitely not $3.20 per ml. That's just absolutely insane to me. Then you take into consideration its lack of ingenuity, and I just think that the overall valuation is laughable. But if you like this juice that much and you're willing to shell out the cash for it, then I'm not scrutinizing scrutinizing you, but if I was scrutinizing you though, I'd be doing so less harshly because it's not like you can get the OG anywhere else again, because again, it is discontinued. But if I honestly couldn't find this off of a discount website, which I feel like I can't now because it's becoming harder to find, I'd say that the scent DNA is just better off forgotten, as godlike as it is during the spring and summertime. As a result, I'm going to give Bleecker Street by Bond No. 9 an overall score of 6 out of 10. I just can't let it off the hook with its unoriginal blend and lack of top-of-the-line ingredients. Again, sillage-wise, it smells great and I love its outdoorsiness, but it doesn't smell like 320 per ml for a 100 ml grade, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's about it for me with Bleecker Street. How do you feel though? Like, how would you rate this out of 10? Higher or lower? Also, do you think it's worth its current retail price or even discounted? As always, let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe if you haven't yet. It would definitely mean a lot. And thanks again for the ongoing support, and hopefully I see you later. Take care now, peace out, bye. Wear your fragrances.